welcome back to my channel. Hi YouTube family. It's been a hot minute. But the truth is, life has been life in 2022 has just been, yeah. But it's the fall season. It's getting cold. All I'm doing is just drinking my green tea, minding my business. But I just wanted to really share about an experience that I had when I was in college. So back in 2013, I unfortunately had to relocate from Florida to Massachusetts, mainly because I was really struggling with school to the point of almost being kicked out of college. And as an international student, facing all this, it was really a lot to deal with. I had to leave my family, well, though my friends who had become family at this point, and basically start all over again. And I was really struggling with, accepting the fact that I had failed and I have to basically start afresh. So when I relocated to Massachusetts, honestly, I struggled with how to even make new friends, because I feel like anytime I introduced myself to someone and I told them where I was coming from, they didn't understand why anybody in their right mind would want to relocate from Florida to Massachusetts. It was like a huge, like, the weather, like the gap in the change, the different weather, the what you call it, like, it's just an extreme change basically, and nobody really does that. Like, people actually want to move to Florida, because the weather is amazing. But as time went on, I finally managed to own my truth and just really share with people that, listen, this is what I experienced, and this is where I am in my life right now. But regardless, it was a very lonely season in my life. I was really isolated, and honestly, out of this isolation birthed the Lillian that you see now in front of your screen. Out of this isolation, I was able to develop a deeper relationship with God. I was able to hear audibly from the Holy Spirit. I was able to really connect with God and begin to delve deeper into, like, what I should be doing, honestly. Because up until then, I feel like I was just living, I was just going to school because you have to go to school, you have to get a degree. But I didn't really understand, like, what everything was for. So during this isolation period, as I like to call it, I spent most times indoors. I mean, mainly because of the weather changes, mainly because I hadn't really connected with people, and I was still most of my days were spent on FaceTime and Skype back then with my friends from high school, friends from Florida, because I hadn't really readjusted basically. And I found myself on YouTube a lot. And on YouTube mainly because God was working within me. I started watching a lot more sermons. I started watching a lot of Wendy Williams. Um, Side notes, I'm actually one of her biggest fans. Don't come at me. Like, she just gives really juicy tea. That's really it. But yes, I was watching a lot of things. I was consuming a lot of information during that time, and I think one thing that really positively impacted my life during this season was discovering this series called Lost and Found. And it was from Sarah Jakes Roberts, and I'm sure you guys have probably seen everything going on with her recently in the news and media and everything. But I started watching the series and I was like, wait, it feels like someone is watching my life and telling my story basically. And I connected with her story so much, and honestly, like, it just felt like, she was telling a part of my story that I hadn't even realized was really happening. So I immediately connected with her because, long story short, she got pregnant at 13, ended up having her first child at 14, and her father is this prominent preacher. And so, there's just a lot going on, and she felt like the black sheep of the family. And for me, I found that in parallel to my life, because when I started having my school struggles, I really felt like the black sheep of the family, and it's like I had disappointed everybody and all that. So I just really connected with her and her story, and that series literally changed how I saw my situation. I started seeing it more as God is allowing me to go through this for a reason, and it's just for a season. This is not what's going to happen the rest of my life. And I mean, now sitting here and telling the story, it makes sense, and it's actually the truth, because that season didn't last. Though it lasted for a while, it didn't last forever. And so I'm really grateful to have stumbled on that video, and I'm gonna link it below so anyone who hasn't gotten the chance to see it yet can see it. But when I saw what happened for Sarah Jakes recently, I realized that, wow, God really is a prayer answering God. And regardless of how your journey looks or whatever process you go through, whatever the end goal is, you're going to get there. Because when I literally saw her dad pass the torch to her to take over like the women's conference situation, I had tears in my eyes, because I have followed her from the very beginning when she started preaching and everything. And so for me, it felt like a win, and it felt like, yo, girl, you too can do it. You too, regardless of how low you started, you can get to the top. You can achieve your dreams and your goals, and don't give up. Literally, that the only thing is, do not give up. And there's this one quote I came across a while ago that has really stuck with me. It says that the stone that the builders rejected became the cornerstone. And so in the season where I was, going through all this and I was alone, I felt like everybody had rejected me because I didn't know how to even be a friend in that moment. I didn't know how to I just didn't know how to relate to people, honestly. It was just a lot of things I was dealing with. And so for me to realize how important going through that experience is now, I'm also grateful to God for it. And I've been talking to a lot of young women recently who have reached out to me. Maybe they stumbled on a video, or they just heard about my story or something. And for me, I've had to encourage them from a place of what's compassion, right? Because I can relate to exactly what they're going through. I can relate to exactly how they're feeling at every moment. No matter how different our experiences are, I understand how it feels to have something snatched from you when you thought everything was going to go smooth. I know what it feels like to be failing. I know what it feels like to feel like you have to start all over again. I know what so all the conversations I've been having with these girls, it's like I get to encourage them from a personal point of view. And I think that's what really makes this entire situation unique for me, because I didn't know this is what God had set up for me. And so I know it's the fall season. People may be dealing with a lot and may not want to be out there, and I've been in that space before. So I thought I'll just put this video out there to encourage anybody who finds themselves in a down season, finds themselves in a season where things are just not working out. Life is lifing.
The pressure is getting.
The struggles are just endless. It seems like there's no light at the end of the tunnel. Let me remind you that this is just for a season. Don't allow whatever you're going through to take over your life, because it's going to end and a new and beautiful season is going to start for you. So just keep trusting God. Just keep holding on to the word that he has given you, and trust that in his time, it will all work out for you. And it's crazy how sometimes, for me, for example, even as I'm sharing this video, I'm in a season of waiting, and I'm waiting for certain things to fall into place. Like God has told me they are going to fall into place, but I have days where I'm just doubting, I'm just questioning, I'm just worried, like, God, is this really going to work out for me? Like, I don't see anything. There's no glimpse of hope anywhere. And so I share that to let you know that I'm not just telling you something from past experience. I'm telling you something that I'm really going through right now. And I really hope that this serves as a reminder, this serves as some kind of encouragement for anybody who may find themselves in that season. And really, one thing I want you to take away from this video is that I am a girl who was at the brink of failure, honestly, and God found me worthy enough to redeem me and to put me on a pedestal that I never even dreamt of. I've done so many things that, sitting here right now, I don't even, I can't even believe it. I recently was able to, I had an interview with the Plastics News. It's a newspaper for the plastics industry, and I got front page, and I'm just like, wow, like, who am I? You know, I'm just a girl with a story. I'm just a girl on a journey. I'm just a girl who experienced failure, but it's turned out to become my purpose on this earth, honestly. And so look at me today, and remember that you too, you're just in a season. It's going to work out. This is not the end. This is just a pit stop. This is just a roadblock. You just need to keep pushing through, keep fighting through to be able to take that roadblock off and keep going. And just know that God's time is really not our time. You may think you're waiting for 3 months, but in God's time, it's probably like 2 minutes, you know. And because it seems so long for you, you feel like, oh my God, like, God, where are you? You know, you told me, you know, you're gonna show up, but Charlie, it's not looking like it. And so I really hope that you're encouraged, that you would hold on to God's word, and you, no matter how long it takes, you would hang in there and you won't give up. I really think that sometimes we may just be like a day short of the miracle, and the devil just decides to fill your mind with thoughts that, oh, it's never going to happen, things are not going to work out, and all that. Anyways, I know this is an engineering page and all that, but it's called Engineering Life with Lillian Judy, so that I can get to share some of my life experiences as an engineer and some of the struggles that I've gone through, to encourage you, to inspire you, and to empower you. Ultimately, my goal is to make sure that the story that I have reaches another woman. I love you guys so much, and stay tuned for more of these. I'm going to try and make it a series, but who knows. Anyways, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe.